Hello again, everyone. Welcome to Washington Gun Law TV. I am Washington Gun Law President William Kirk. Thanks for joining us. Hey, we're going to talk about content creation. Actually, we're going to talk about something far more important than content creation, and that is the ability to speak freely about all of our inalienable rights, including our Second Amendment right. Now, one of the easiest ways to squelch out the exercise of the Second Amendment right is to just prohibit or forbid people from actually having discussions about it. And that brings me to the topic of today's video, which is this platform and several others, which candidly will do anything humanly possible to squelch conversation that is pro-Second Amendment. It appears that an attorney general, one that you're all becoming real big fans of, is getting wise to it and may want to do something about it. So today, let's spend a few minutes and let's talk about the lawsuit to save the Second Amendment on social media. Okay, America, we are talking about content creation. Now, you could either take my word for it, or I would encourage you to go out and talk to other content creators in the 2A sphere, and they will tell you that just about every single platform that we deal with candidly hates our guts, including this one right here. And the meta platforms are really no much better. And with that, I want you to understand two things happen. Number one, to the content creators, it thwarts their ability to make a living as a content creator. Now, you may or may not care about that whatsoever, but let's remember that content creators are the ones that are spurring many of these discussions and ideas that ultimately come to fruition. So I do believe that they serve an important role, and candidly, I think people do have the right, if they have good material out there, to make a living doing that. But more importantly, far beyond content creation, this really comes down to how can we possibly truly exercise our Second Amendment rights, or any other constitutional right for that matter, if we're not also allowed to just, talk about it, okay? And that's what's been happening here on many of these platforms. And again, you don't have to look very far to find content that is routinely being squished out by these platforms. Well, the latter part, the part about squelching free speech and therefore hindering the exercise of one's inalienable Second Amendment rights, has caught the attention of Missouri Attorney General Andrew Bailey. Many of you have become recent fanboys or girls of him because you believe that here's a possibility that he may ascend to a higher office. He has filed with Google, as well as the Meta platforms, a civil investigative demand. And what the Attorney General in Missouri is saying is, hey, I believe that your companies, your platforms, are engaging in unfair trade practices. He has sent a demand letter to, in this case, we'll be talking about Google, but there's also demand letters that have gone to the Meta platforms as well as other platforms. And he opens his demand as follows. The Attorney General of the state of Missouri believes it to be in the public interest that an investigation be made to ascertain whether Google LLC, including YouTube, subject, or its agents or employees, have engaged in or are engaging in any practice declared to be unlawful by Section 407.020 of the Revised Statutes of Missouri. Okay, so understand that this is not a criminal investigation. What this is an investigation under Missouri fair trade laws. The Attorney General's demand then goes on to state, the right to keep and bear arms is one of the most sacred and cherished rights guaranteed to the citizens of the state of Missouri under the Constitution of the United States. The ability of each citizen to provide for their own well-being and the protection of their families is the linchpin of liberty, without which the rest of the Bill of Rights is reduced to near meaningless parchment. If citizens are prevented from owning modern firearms, the government holds a monopoly on the use of force, and as history has demonstrated time and again, this consolidation of power inevitably leads to the violation of human rights and the trampling of individual liberty. You gotta love a state attorney general who truly understands the true meaning, the true purpose of the Second Amendment. But it appears, unfortunately, that many of these platforms are not real big fans of freedom and individual liberties. And this will be of real importance to the content creators out there because this deplatforming, this squelching, this suppression of speech on these platforms has a significant effect not only to you on a personal and financial level, but more importantly, has a devastating impact on the exercise of the Second Amendment rights throughout the entire country. And for these reasons, the Attorney General specifically requests. With this in mind, the Attorney General is compelled to open an investigation into concerning allegations that subject has engaged in a deliberate pattern and practice to suppress the rights guaranteed to Missourians to not only own firearms and ammunition, but to engage in related commerce, to buy and sell the same, and to speak openly about the related matters, including but not limited to hunting, shooting, personal protection, commerce in firearms and accessories, and political opinions about such topics. This investigation will inquire into the alleged banning, restricting, prohibiting, delisting, downranking, suppressing, demoting, demonetizing, or otherwise obscuring of any shared content, including any post, image, video, audio, textual statement or comment, link, message, email, iMessage, SMS, or other similar item by any person on your platform relating to the sale, acquisition, possession, construction, maintenance, demonstration, use, or safe and effective employment of firearms, firearm accessories, or ammunition, or the monetizing of any information, opinion, service, or expertise related to the same. And the crux of this entire investigation into these social media platforms by the state of Missouri is as follows. Missouri law prohibits companies from misleading consumers about the company's products or services, and the Attorney General believes that you have information, documentary material, and/or physical evidence relevant to the investigation described above. Prompt compliance with this civil investigative demand is mandatory. See Section 407.080 of the Revised Statutes of Missouri. Okay, and then the Attorney General has pages and paragraphs of various things that he is demanding as part of this investigative demand. Just to give you an idea of the flavor of these demands, one of the many items includes provide all documents created or retained by you relating to the banning, restricting, prohibiting, delisting, downranking, suppressing, demoting, demonetizing, censoring, or otherwise obscuring of any shared content by any person related to political content or opinion otherwise protected by the Second Amendment to the Constitution of the United States relating to firearms, firearm accessories or ammunition, or the monetizing of any information, opinion, service, or expertise related to the same. But you see, the Attorney General is very wise here that there is not only a bunch of internal influence amongst the management of these platforms that is creating this censorship, if you would, but there is likely external pressure as well. And for that reason, the Attorney General is also asking for provide all communications or documents between subject and the Biden administration, specifically the Office of the President or the Vice President of the United States, the FBI, the ATF, the Brady Campaign, the Giffords Law Center, or Everytown for Gun Safety, relating to the banning, restricting, prohibiting, delisting, downranking, suppressing, demoting, demonetizing, censoring, or otherwise obscuring any shared content by any person related to political content or opinion otherwise protected by the Second Amendment to the Constitution of the United States relating to firearms, firearm accessories, or ammunition. Okay, and all of that demand is due by August 26th. Now, how far will this go? I don't know. We'll find out. Hey, how far will this video go? I don't know. We'll find out. It may get pulled for me having the audacity to speak openly about, well, this particular platform. And I want to point out, it's not this particular platform that's guilty. It's this one plus many others, including all of the Meta platforms as well. As we know, Andrew Bailey's name's getting kicked around to possibly ascend to higher office, so that could affect how this lawsuit moves forward. But I'm going to keep close attention on this because this affects me personally, but more importantly, it affects our entire community and the ability to speak openly as our founding fathers intended it to be. Okay, listen, we'll go ahead and link up the Attorney General's letter down below so that you can geek out on it for yourself. You don't have to take our word for it. Maybe you got an idea for a video we should be doing around here. Cool. Click on that link right there and tell us all about it. If you want to subscribe to the monthly newsletter, the ability to do that is down there in the description box. And then finally, and most importantly, let's everyone remember that part of being the lawful and responsible gun owner, like we talk about all the time here, is to know what the law is in every situation, how it applies to you in any instance that you may find yourself. Until next time, thanks for watching and stay safe.